Good afternoon and a warm welcome to all the learners. As we all know that Department of Civil Engineering, College of Engineering and Technology Akola had organized 4 weeks faculty development program on topic pedagogical methods for outcome based education system. Generally this topic pedagogical method is a new and innovative concept as it will be helpful for the adoption of new education policy. Myself, Professor Shahu P.Chore, will present today's session, which is based on the topic the expeditionary learning, a pedagogical method for deeper learning. Generally, this topic focuses more on the practical approach as compared to theoretical approach. So these are the contents which will be included in my PowerPoint presentation. That is the introduction, means what is generally the expeditionary learning. Then there will be the principle, methodology, objectives, means what are the goals which we can achieve with the help of this pedagogical method, its advantages, expeditionary learning cycle, expected outcomes, means what will we get or what will be achieved by adopting this method, its examples and conclusion. So what is basically expeditionary learning? So expeditionary learning is a pedagogical method for deeper learning and more real world expedition. As here you can see that there are 4 types of pictures: the fieldwork and adventure, collaboration, character development, integrated subjects. So now we'll see the introduction. So the expeditionary learning is a pedagogical method that emphasizes on hands-on, that is more practical knowledge, real world learning through experiences like fieldwork and projects. In this, the students are challenged to think critically and take active roles in their classrooms and communities. It's an approach that blends the rigorous academics with the project based learning, emphasizing more on real world application and character development. It integrates rigorous academics with life experiences to develop both academic and personal skills. As this method is a real world expedition, it involves the challenges, teamwork, research, fieldwork, and a clear purpose beyond the classroom that basically focuses on the practical knowledge and practical understanding. It generally focuses on active learning rather than passive listening. Here, active learning means the learning which can be obtained from the practical understanding and practical knowledge rather than the theoretical approach. Authentic real world tasks and community involvement generally focuses on real world tasks which are more related to a practical approach. It also focuses on the holistic development. Holistic development means development by in means of all the ways, that is intellectual, social, emotional and ethical. Means he should develop his all skills in many ways. It more focuses on the practical approach than the theoretical approach. Here are some of the principles of this method. First is the authentic hands-on experiences. It involves Instead of just reading about a topic, students should engage in active and real world experiences. Learning through expeditions. Students engage in long term interdisciplinary projects, often addressing community or environmental issues. Self discovery. Students discover their capacities and strengths through challenges and problem solving. This will help them to recognize their own abilities and skills. Responsibility for learning. Students take ownership of their learning through goal setting, self assessment, and revision. Then it also involves high quality and productive work, that is, the students can produce with the help of the professional standards and which emphasizes on the craftsmanship. Students actually learn through the fieldwork, case studies, service learning, and simulations. Experiential learning means the students can learn by doing, making abstract concepts tangible and understandable through the practical application. Responsibility for learning. Learning is a personal and social activity. Students must become increasingly responsible for directing their own learning. Empathy and caring. Learning thrives in a community where ideas are respected and there is mutual trust, emphasizing on mentoring and a safe environment. It also involves the leadership and skill improvement techniques with the help of practical knowledge. Next, here comes the methodology, that how can we adapt this expeditionary learning method. It involves a real world problem solving activities. Students should go beyond the classroom to visit local organizations, conducting surveys, study nature or local issues. Students should analyze real cases, compare perspectives, and apply concepts to new situations. Students should study about the practical applications and should publish research papers or create models and prototypes. Students should attend industrial workshops for better practical understanding. Basically, this method focuses on practical approach and practical understanding, which will be gained by attending various workshops and industrial knowledge. Now, there are some of the objectives or goals which could be achieved with the help of this method. First is the develop deep understanding. Move beyond theoretical knowledge to a deep conceptual understanding of content and skills. Cultivate character. Foster essential character traits and social emotional skills like resilience, collaboration, responsibility, and empathy. Produce quality work. Challenge students to create work that meets high standards of quality, craftsmanship, and authenticity. foster self-discovery, help students discover their own strengths, talents, and capacity to overcome challenges. It also includes preparing students with the attitudes and skills to be active and contributing members of their communities. Generally, this focuses on moving beyond the theoretical approach more to a deep conceptual understanding of content and skill. Next are the advantages. Advantages include increased engagement through hands on real world projects and compelling topics, motivating students, leading to a deeper engagement and joy in learning. Development of skills actively develops crucial skills like critical thinking, problem solving, communication, and collaboration. Deeper content mastery. Interdisciplinary expeditions allow students to apply knowledge across contents, leading to stronger retention and transfer of learning. Increased student engagement. Real world relevance, hands on projects, and high expectations lead to dramatically increased motivation and attendance. It also involves the strong character development, that is, the focus on character, responsibility, and service, prepare students for success in life and contribution to their communities. Linking classroom learning to real world issues and community service gives learning immediate meaning and purpose. We can say that the expeditionary learning is a dynamic educational approach that emphasizes learning by doing, integrating real world experiences with rigorous academics, and transforms traditional classrooms into active, inquiry driven environments. Then there are some of the challenges we may face while adopting this method. Generally, this method requires a shift from traditional teaching methods to the advanced teaching methods. Then it needs to be ongoing professional development of faculties, means we will have to provide training to all the faculties about this all the pedagogical methods. Coordination with the external agencies or industries can be challenging, as this method basically focuses more on practical knowledge. So, while collaborating with the industries for industrial workshops or seminars, it may be challenging. Balancing the academics with experiential activities. This involves the stability or balancing in both academics and practical approach, because the experiential activities include the visiting various organizations, industrial visits, workshops, or seminars, and thus balancing the academics with all these practical activities may be difficult. Then next is the expeditionary learning cycle. Here we can see that there are four stages in the cycle: concrete experience, reflection, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation, which involves the learning cycle. So here we can see the details of all the stages involved in the expeditionary learning cycle. So first one is the concrete experience. Concrete experience basically focuses on doing something, that is through participation in learning activities. Students get hands-on experience on problem solving tasks. So basically this stage focuses more on doing something with the help of the students. Then second stage is the reflection, that is the observing. Students recall their memory or look at records of the learning activities. They review and reflect on the process either individually or in a group. Learners observe others' behaviors during the activities as well. So this stage basically focuses on observing that, which increases the observing power of students with the help of practical activities. Then third stage is the abstract conceptualization, which means in short the thinking. Students generalize knowledge and theory from the previous experience based on the reflection, which help them to develop the students' thinking power. And last stage is the active experiment, that is planning. Students then modify existing concepts and knowledge with the new theory they come up with and apply in later occasions. Means this helps the students for the proper planning and management in their future life. So these are the four stages that are involved in the expeditionary learning cycle. So next is the faculty's role in expeditionary learning. Means what is the role of the faculties, or what the faculties will have to do for adapting this new method, that is expeditionary learning. So the faculty will act as a guide and allow students to make mistakes and learn from them throughout the whole process, and faculty will clarify the concepts and the purposes of each stage whenever needed. Faculty should help to collaborate with industries for site visits or workshops for better practical understanding of students. Faculty should provide students learning resources and information both before and during the task when students are stuck. So these are some of the roles that the faculty should be performing for smooth conduction and adoption of this pedagogical method. So next is the role of students, that the students have to do for more practical and better adoption of this method. That is, students should actively participate in workshops and seminars for practical experiences. Students should gain practical knowledge by collaborating with the industries. Students should get involved in selecting topics and solutions to various problems. Students should always show positive approach, which would help them for gaining leadership skills. These are some of the roles that students have to be adapted for the better understanding and the conduction of this and applying this pedagogical method. Now there are the expected outcomes that could be achieved by adoption of this method. So first is the academic excellence, that is the deep conceptual understanding and ability to apply and transfer knowledge and critical thinking skills. Improve critical thinking and problem solving. So students are consistently engaged in inquiry, investigation and problem solving, which improves their analytical and critical thinking skills. Self discovery and confidence. Students gain a better understanding of their own strengths, interests, and passions, which builds self motivation, self esteem, and confidence. Teamwork. Group efforts on complex projects teach students essential interpersonal skills like active listening and the value of collective action. Increase engagement of students when learning will motivate them and give them the hands on training. Now, here are some of the examples. First example is related to the transportation and urban planning. That how can we redesign a major road corridor to maximize the safety and accessibility for non-vehicular traffic while maintaining the essential flow? This is the problem statement that could be given to the students. Then methodology. Students in collaboration with the city planning department or a local active transportation group, they should conduct site visits, observe traffic and pedestrian patterns, and use geographic information system, that is GIS, to map accident hotspots. Then next is the conclusion of this example, that is it directly addresses the community's need for safety and accessibility, involves a deep technical skill application and intensive teamwork. So this is one of the example that is related to transportation and urban planning, that what the students can do in such cases by practical approach. Next is related to structural engineering problem statement. To develop an economically feasible and sensitive seismic retrofitting plan for a building in the city to ensure it meets current building codes. Methodology that students can perform. Students research and propose different retrofitting techniques. For example, adding shear walls, installing base isolators, or using composite fiber wraps. The team must justify their design choices with the help of finite element analysis software to model the building's current stability. Conclusion combines advanced technical skills with non technical constraints, developing problem solving and professional presentation skills. Next is related to environmental and water resources engineering problem statement. How can a local elementary college campus utilize sustainable low impact development techniques to manage its stormwater runoff and reduce its contribution to municipal sewer overflow? So, next is the methodology that can be performed by students. The students perform a topographic survey of the college grounds, calculate the hydrologic budget, and conducts soil permeability test. Conclusion of this example focuses on a tangible solution, merges theoretical principles with practical execution, and provides a valuable resource to the college. So, these are some of the examples that could be given to the students, and students can perform practical activities to gain knowledge and result or expected outcomes that are possible for this method. Some more examples can be given, such as if the students are collaborating with the municipal corporations to assess the condition of roads, bridges, or drainage systems, this will help them for better understanding of the subjects that are involved in their syllabus. By applying the surveying, structural analysis, and materials knowledge to evaluate the infrastructure and propose environments. Then one more example can be given, such as for sustainable water management project and doing the field work in rural or urban areas to study the water supply, wastewater treatment or storm water runoff. Means students can, in the form of project, students can also perform these practical activities by doing the field works, which could help them to gain the knowledge and better understanding of the topics and subjects that are included in their syllabus. Lastly, we come to the conclusion of this topic. So, the expeditionary learning creates active, meaningful, and real world learning experiences. Expeditionary learning represents a powerful shift in modern education away from traditional practices towards active, meaningful, and practical experiences. It generally focuses on inquiry, exploration, and hands on problem solving. It promotes deep understanding through interdisciplinary projects and practical approach, builds critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and leadership skills. It supports the holistic development, including academic, social, emotional, and character growth. It helps to prepare students to be responsible, engaged, and capable learners. Expeditionary learning redefines the education as an active, purposeful, and collaborative journey. It equips students with the skills, knowledge, and character to thrive in a complex world. Expeditionary learning for civil engineering students can involve real world hands on projects that integrate technical knowledge with community impact. These experiences will help students for applying classroom theory to practical challenges, fostering deeper understanding and professional skills. So, lastly, I would be thankful to the chief patron of this faculty development program, Honorable Shri Harshavardhanji Deshmukh sir, President of Shri Shivaji Education Society, organizers and patrons Dr. P.V. Thorat sir, Principal, College of Engineering and Technology, Akola, and the convener Dr. A.R. Gupta sir, Head of the Department Civil Engineering, for giving me this opportunity for presenting this topic. Thank you. Thank you once again.